Okay, good morning again. And welcome to FRS 102. On last week, the main thing that we were talking about was creating a budget. So that's maintaining a budget, facilitating how you're going to manage your finances while you're here at Morris or upon graduation. So the main thing was creating a budget. So once you have a budget, then you can start working on your goals, whether they're financial goals, on which that's what we talked about on last week, or if they're just personal goals, professional or personal goals. Some goals will have a financial aspect to them because you will need money to carry out those goals. So today we're going to talk about achieving academic success, goal setting, and planning. So the first thing you need to do is find your motivation. What motivates you? When you find your motivation, that's the drive that you need to get where you need to be or to the next level that you want to reach. So find your motivation. Now, the next question you want to ask, why is motivation important? So motivation is a person's individual values, beliefs, and desires which propel them into action. Your motivation will help you achieve your goal because if you're motivated to achieve the goal, you're going to work harder to achieve that goal. It is important to understand what drives you. So, some examples of motivators or things that drive you are your family, friends, community, and anything of that motivates you. So your family will be your driving factor, your friends, your community. All of those are motivators. They help push you to reach the goal. Because if you're motivated to try to achieve something 9 times out of 10, you're going to work to achieve that goal. You're not going to leave it half the way. You're going to see that goal all the way through. Another example is self motivation. So that means, do you have the internal drive to accomplish your goal? It may be something that you want to do, but do you have the internal drive? Is it within you that, okay, I'm going to complete this? So most of you, all your goal right now is to graduate from Morris College. So do you have an internal drive that is pushing you even when you want to give up? Is there something in you that is telling you, okay, I want to see this through. I want to make it to the end. So that is another example of a motivation is self-motivation. You always have to self-motivate you. You can rely on others to motivate you, but you need to have a self-motivation to reach your goal as well. So we want to recognize what motivators are. So think about it just on your spare time. Identify what motivates you to succeed at school, work, home, or other could be like in the community, in your neighborhood. Identify what motivates you. So with school, what motivates you at Morris College to succeed? What is it that is motivating you? If you work, what is motivating you to go to work? What is motivating you while you're at work to do your best job possible? At home, who is it that motivates you? And then in your community, if you do civic or community activities, what is it about the community that is motivating you to want you so that you can see the community grow and prosper? So next, we want to classify those motivators. Now that you have already identified what your motivators are, it is now time to, and it's important to understand the quality and depth of your motivation through your values, beliefs, and desires. And if you remember last week in the budget, we said that your budget can tie into your values, your beliefs, and your desires. So we're seeing those three key motivators or three key terms that are coming back up: value, belief, and desires. So values, these are the things that are meaningful and significant in your life. We all have a set of values that we hold our own self to. Your values, like I said on the other week, are different from mine and mine from yours. So values are things that you find meaningful and significant, in your life. So some examples are families and relationships, schools and academic success, career, money, status, and social causes. All of those are values. Those are things that you find that connect with you to create a value or some kind of sustainability within yourself, and also travel. Beliefs. Beliefs are those ideas or thoughts individuals believe to be true. So it's just a set of beliefs that you go by. Usually, some beliefs are passed down from generation to generation. Some are new, but beliefs are ideas or thoughts that you believe to be true. I can't knock your beliefs, and you can't knock mine because those are what we believe to be true. Desires are your longing or hope. Are you hoping for something or things you want to accomplish? So those are your desires. Your desires are your dreams or your goals. So example, the first one would be obtaining a college degree. That should be a desire. When you entered into Morris College as a freshman, that is your ultimate goal, and your desire is to complete Morris College in the 4 years to obtain a college degree. Once the importance of a goal is identified and assigned a value, because you must assign it a value and how important it is to you, then you are more likely to give that goal 100%. So that means, like, if I just say a goal, I want to graduate from college, but if I don't give that goal a value, and I probably won't work as hard to reach the goal, which means when I have setbacks or things are not going the way I seem, I think they should go, I would give up easily because I didn't identify and I didn't assign a value to that particular goal. So our second activity that I want you all to think about, make a list and identify your values, beliefs, and desires. So you really should have that from last week. So look back over that list and see, okay, do those values, beliefs, and desires interact with the goals that you want to accomplish? And does that tie back into the financial goals that you have for yourself? Because we all, like I talked on last week, we have financial goals, we have professional goals, and then you have personal goals. All of those goals should be tied into one, and the base for those are all built off of your values, beliefs, and your desires. So, how do these items listed relate to one another? So, how do your values, beliefs, and desires, how are they all manifested and turned into one? So, what from your values and beliefs and desires coincide with all three? It should be some kind of way that they're all related to one another. Part two is to determine your strength and your challenges. The next step in setting a goal is assessing academic strength and challenges. These are the areas in which you excel or which you struggle. So just because it's a struggle, that doesn't mean it's a failure for you. It lets you know where your struggle area is, and it lets you know what you need to do to improve on that area so you can then turn a weakness into a positive. So to begin assessing your academic strength and challenges, reflect on the positive and negative experiences you had. So while you were here, what are some negative and positive academic experiences you've had, not just with the college, but with the academics? Reflect on those for a moment. So that's in the classroom, working in a group, writing a paper, presenting to a group. I want to go back one quick second. So in the classroom, what positive and negative connotations have you had? Working in a group, what positive and negative connotations have you had? Writing a paper and presenting to a group. So to assess your academic strength, you need to reflect on both the positive and negative, and these are just some examples that you could use. So remember that an accurate and honest assessment is always essential to helping you overcome your challenges. If you are on a scale from 1 to 5, if you feel, for instance, presenting, if you at a level 1, which means you're not that good at it, and a 5, you're excellent, but you put a 3, are you really being accurate and honest in your self-assessment? Are you just giving yourself high numbers so it will look high? You want to be honest in your assessment of your abilities. You never want to overesteem your abilities, because it will show. You always want to give an accurate account for your challenges, not only your strength and your weaknesses. The roles of strength and challenges can affect your motivation. Building on strength allows you to use your talents to achieve a level of success, and this success will increase your confidence as well as your motivation, because we all love to succeed. So when we succeed, our motivation in ourselves, it increases, and our confidence level increases. So when we see that we may fail at something, it's going to bring down that confidence and that motivation level. So always remember that your strength and challenges can affect your personal motivation within yourself. So learn to work on improving your challenges and honing in on what is you're good at. So if you know you are good at something, you want to perfect that. If you know that an area might be your weakness, you want to look at, okay, what can, in this project, what is a strength for me? Because that's going to be your moment to shine. That's going to be how you're going to present yourself. It may be a hard task to do, but you want to always focus on improving on your challenges and fine tuning your strengths because it's the best thing for you to do. And focusing solely on your challenges can decrease your motivation because if you focus on your challenges, you're just going to down your own self. You're not going to feel motivated to do things. And continue to work towards achieving your goals. The sense of direction is vital in maintaining positive motivation. So you always want to look at moving forward. You never want to go backwards and you never want to stay stagnant. You always want to be looking to moving forward to be the better you that you can be. So our third activity, make a list and identify your academic strength and challenges. So as you are listing your strengths and your weaknesses, do you notice a pattern? Is it a pattern from maybe your freshman year to your sophomore year? Did it improve from your sophomore year to your junior year? Or from your junior year to your senior year, do you see a significant change? And for my seniors, do you see a significant change from your senior year compared to when you came in as a freshman? You should see some kind of pattern, and you should also see growth from year to year. It shouldn't be the same. So, why is failure important? Most people, we do not like to fail, but why is failure important? So, we know that failure is the inability to do or perform a certain function adequately. So, why is, since we know the definition and we see that that whole definition is negative, why is it important? So, the idea of failing is, they like to say, a state of mind. It's something that we have put a negative connotation on, and so we automatically just think, okay, failing is something negative. But it is important to accept your failures as a positive instead of a negative. This will allow you to learn from your mistakes and use them to identify what is needed to succeed in the future. So that's what I want us to focus on. It is important to accept failure. We will fail. We will not be perfect at everything. Even though we would like to be perfect, we will not be perfect at everything. But when we have those moments of failure, that is when we allow ourselves to learn. Why did I fail at this? What did I do? Go back and look at the steps. What caused me to fail? Once you realize what caused you to fail, then you can realize and you can reroute and rework. And so you don't make those mistakes in the future. So you're learning from your mistakes. When you learn from your mistakes, then you can move forward and not make those mistakes again. But if you just dwell on the mistakes that I failed and it's nothing that I can do, nothing can be done, you're gonna find yourself making those mistakes again. But you want to learn from your mistakes, build on your mistakes, so when you counter this in the future, it will be a positive. And as we know, failure can affect your level of motivation. It will put a damper on your day. It will change your mood, your spirit. It will just have a negative cloud over you because you are feeling down and you're not as upbeat as you should be because you feel like you just failed. You completely failed. But that's why it's important to learn from our failures. And like I just said, failures can also be used as a catalyst for success. Use your failures as a success tool. So once you find out what your failure is, just make sure that you don't go down that road again. So to accept ourselves as we are means to value our imperfections as much as our perfections. We all want to be perfect. We want to be seen in a perfect light. We want to be seen as this perfect person. But we know that is not achievable. But when we accept our imperfections, we see what our perfections are and we learn, we grow from it. So that's the big takeaway from this slide when it comes about understanding why we should accept failure. So part 3 is goal setting, planning, executing, and evaluating your success. So the planning steps. The best way to create your goals is what we call, and you all should have heard of this as a freshman in freshman seminar, SMART goals. That's the acronym that we use to set goals. And so we will see the SMART goals on the next slide. So the first thing you want to do is make a plan. You want to be accountable for that plan that you made. You want to do regular checkups on your plan to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. And once you finish the goal and you reach the end, you want to evaluate the whole goal, and then you want to celebrate. Whether it's a failure or a success, you want to celebrate it, because if it was a failure, now you know what to do the next time around. So setting SMART goals. SMART goals is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So specific, that means that you are setting a specific goal you can accomplish. It's a specific goal has a greater chance of being achieved than a general goal. So a general goal would be to graduate from college. So if I was in school, so I'm going to say, well, when I went to South Carolina State, my goal was to graduate from college. When I say I want to graduate from college, that is a general goal. But to make it specific, I would then rephrase the goal and say, my goal is to graduate from South Carolina State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Just by changing it up, I made that goal specific. So now I made it specific. So now I'm going to work harder to reach that goal. Measurable is where you're going to measure your progress towards your goal. So the goal was to graduate from South Carolina State. So what am I doing to measure that goal? Am I going to class? Am I doing the assignments that needed to be done? Am I meeting with professors? Am I staying on track of financial aspects of it? Am I keeping track of all of that? Obtainable. After your goal has been established and you begin working towards your goal, you begin to see ways that you can achieve it. You begin to develop the attitude skills necessary to accomplish your goals. So what things do you need to obtain to achieve the goal? And I always believe in writing your goals down is important because it will serve as a constant reminder. Me personally, I don't write them down on a sheet of paper. I keep them in my cell phone. So in my notepad, in my note section, I have all of my goals listed for the next 7 years. And I go to them. I may not go to them every day, and I may not go to them every month. I may look at them every other month, but I know that they're right there, and I'm constantly aware in the back of my mind, okay, what is the next goal that I want to achieve? What am I working toward? So it's always important to keep a list of your goals close to you. So we're going to continue with the SMART goals. So I was telling you the R stands for realistic and the T stands for the timeline. So your goal should be a true, realistic reflection of how willing and able you are to accomplish your goal. Because there's no need to set a goal and it's not realistic because you will not achieve that goal. And the timeline will be, okay, I'm putting an endpoint to this goal and I'm given a clear target date for the goal. So if we go back to the goal that I said, where I said my goal was to graduate from South Carolina State University with a degree, with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Now, if I wanted to put a time on that goal, I would then go back and said, as I entered into South Carolina State University in 2007, my goal is to graduate in the spring of 2011 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing. So I put a timeline on that goal. So I know I have given myself 4 years to accomplish the goal. And I'm going to work hard because I know I have in the back of my mind, I have 4 years to reach that goal. So for another example, I'm going to use me because these are the examples I would have used if you all were here in class. When I wanted to get my master's, I knew I wanted to get it around a certain time. So the goal was to get my master's 2 years after undergrad. So that means right after 2011, I should have gone and got my master's. It didn't work that way. Life happened. And so when I started my master's program, I started in 2014. My goal was, when I started on the program, I said I wanted to be finished my master's in 2 years because that's how long the program took. So I was like, I want to finish in the required time for the program. So that was my goal. But I worked hard and I made it realistic. Made sure I followed the SMART acronym. So I finished 6 months earlier. So I end up finishing my goal prior to my timeline. But that was because I had a goal listed that I wanted to achieve. So an example of setting a SMART goal using the SMART technique is just what I just did, but earn an A in this class. So let's say that's your goal to earn an A in this class. That made it specific because you just didn't say, I just want to get an A, but you want to get an A in this class. Measurable. To measure that, that means you're going to attend the class session. So that means you're going to attend the class, do the work that is required of the course. Obtainable. Write down your goals and establish a study schedule so you know if you're trying to get an A out of this class, there's certain things that you're going to have to do on your end to obtain an A out of the course. Realistic. Set your goals that you can successfully accomplish. Begin planning for exams early. Make sure that you're doing your assignments early, not wait until the day of or the night before that they're due. Start studying 5 to 7 days before exam. Utilize academic support services if needed to ensure that you get the A. Now the timeline. Mark exam dates on your calendar and designate specific days and time for your exam so you know, because you know you have to take the exams to get the A. So this is how you use the SMART technique to follow your goals and kind of rewrite the goals that you already have, but using this outline for them. So now we get into short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals are goals that you can achieve within a day, a week, or in the near future, which means a few months. So an example of a short-term goal, attend all scheduled classes for the semester. So we can go with that. Long-term goals are goals that you can achieve in a longer period. So it's going to take you a year or more to achieve those goals. So let's go back. Start thinking of short-term goals and long-term goals. So we know short-term goals, anything we're going to say 6 months or less. Long-term is anything that's going to be over 6 months or a year or more. Those are long-term goals. So you need to make a plan. Identify any strengths and challenges that you may face while setting your goal. That means any personal challenges you might face. Identify resources such as family, instructors, classmates, study groups, support services, advisors who can assist you in reaching your goals. So develop a team. Know who your resources are. Know who is on your team who can help you. And then develop a plan. So that's just like when we created the budget, you have to have a plan. You can't go into anything not knowing how you're going to handle it on your end. You may not know what the end result is going to be, but make sure that you are coming to the table, coming prepared. You know on your end that you are ready to go. You are 100% on your end. So once you've done all that and you get to the end of your goal, now it's time to evaluate and celebrate. Did you meet your goal? Why? Why didn't you meet your goal? Why not? What did you learn from trying to reach this goal? And what would you do differently if you had to do it again? Those are some questions to ask yourself. Identify the reward. How will you celebrate your effort and success? Because after success, you want to relish and enjoy your success. So, how would you celebrate your success? So that's the end of that PowerPoint. So we're talking about achieving academic success, goal setting, and planning. So as we saw in this PowerPoint, everything's going to start with the plan. Just like when we did our budget last week, you had to start off with a plan. So no matter what you do, make sure you have a clear cut plan to achieve the goal. Because if you just go into it with no idea of what you want to achieve, it's not going to work out the best. So always make sure that you have a clear cut plan.